Okay, top 10 Super Nintendo video games of all time. Number 10, Out of This World. This one took a little while to finally get launched. They kept pushing it back and pushing it back, but when it finally came out, it was super sweet. Gave you the adventure of this kid who was just chucked into an alien planet. He befriends one of the aliens, and then they just go from there. And it's really cool. One of those styles that started off on the Genesis and Super Nintendo back in the day, and just kind of got picked up later on, where you walked through the level, lifted your character over, certain areas, kind of like the Pitfall type stuff. This was great, man. It was super cool, and Super Nintendo brought it with high marks. Well done. Out of This World, number 10. And at the mighty number 9 spot, Mario RPG. And I know a lot of you are going to crucify me for not Final Fantasy. Yeah, I know those were great games, but did you play Mario RPG? This was way fun. I mean, where the other ones were deep, they just concentrated. I, as being somebody who loved the role-playing games, didn't want to give this a shot at first, and thought, okay, I'll just go. And I saw my brother playing it, and once I finally gave it a shot, it hands down beat them all. It was really fun. The whole system of the role-playing game was perfect. They really studied, and they didn't give it to you chintzy. So yeah, Nintendo, they always bring it. They don't cut corners. They didn't with Mario RPG. Well done. Number 9. So yeah, I lost a lot of controllers on this one. Number 8, Street Fighter 2. One of the most challenging fighters, but it was worth it. The whole simulator that they had to fight, the fighting system was really good. It was fluid, and the characters were really recognizable and awesome. We loved them right off the get. Love them to this day. They're still making Street Fighter games even to 2016, and they don't knock you off or disappoint you in any way. These are really fun games. And yeah, something about Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo as opposed to other systems, this was really better. They were the closest to the arcade experience, and that's what you were really trying to recapture in your house. And at the time when arcade was still a little better than playing on your console, this was a really close representation of Street Fighter. Number 7 on our list is Star Fox, one of the best flight simulator games you could get. The handles, the feeling of being able to roll and do barrel rolls, go up and down and shoot on Star Fox was one of the more pleasurable experiences in this, on top of just being able to take out the levels. The bosses were cool. No, I know right now it looks like, man, did they even finish the game? But this was as cool as it could get. To actually have you in a 3-dimensional world was unheard of. There was actual extra expansions inside this cartridge to make it more powerful than what the Super Nintendo gave you. And this was an early release game. They knew early on that they were going to do this type of stuff, and a lot of people didn't follow suit. Star Fox, to this day, one of the best flight games you can play. Number 7, really cool game. At number 6, the game that started the race car craze, Mario Kart. This was really awesome. It was really fun to play, something you could jump in with your buddies and play a 2-player action. They split the screens to give you a different feel and type of way to play with 2 players, on top of the tournament modes and everything that were really challenging. You started seeing people trying to break records off the get with this game. It was really fun. Had a ton of replay value, ton of gameplay value, and it just kept going. It's one of those, if you have a Super Nintendo, you're missing out if you don't have a copy of Mario Kart. Number 6. Now, Super Nintendo was one of the best for having a rich collection of role-playing games for the gamers to choose from. But Chrono Trigger, I think, was the top-notch best when it came down to the turn-based role-playing game system. I think they beat Final Fantasy on this one. I hate to say it, but I really do. It was great. The storyline was perfect. The way that you fought, the simulation was really great. The open world map gave you a ton of game hours. You were saving, you were coming back, and it was fun. One of the best role-playing games you can get and play to this day came out on Super Nintendo, and it's our number 5, Chrono Trigger. Holy cow, this was a good game. Number 4, Donkey Kong. I mean, that this is number 4 shows you how great games were for Super Nintendo, because if this was on another console, it would blow it out as easily number 1. This has replay value. The fluidity as you play was wonderful. The colors and the textures that nobody else was doing at the time, on top of the music, was really catchy and fun. And I still, when I turn it on, I know it's go time for some Donkey Kong. I'll put this game pound for pound against a lot of the other side-scroller platforms. Donkey Kong Country is fantastic, and it completely earns its spot at number 4. Okay, coming in at number 3, Super Metroid. Still one of the most popular speedrunning games. You can barely put on YouTube without seeing somebody try to speedrun and beat a record on this. Why? Because it was put together awesome. The placement of every single missile, bomb, and weapon upgrade and suit upgrade was really great, and it gave you a really challenge that was fun to try and find this and try to complete this game at 100%. Most people couldn't do it because it was really challenging and it took hours. Thank God there was a save so you could come back, but it was worth it. It was great. Super Metroid, number 3, and once again, one of those, it would be higher if it was another system, but man, this is a great game. Super Metroid, number 3. Bringing up the 2 spot, it's the legendary Mario World. Super Mario World, that is, for Super Nintendo. Launch games. What is it with Nintendo always being able to make the greatest launch games that probably were the best if somebody hadn't just tweaked it a little bit? But that's it. Nintendo never compromised when they brought out their games. They only brought them out if they were perfect, and they'd wait to launch their system until their games were perfect. And Super Mario World is a great representation of that, because this game is awesome. The replay value to speed run it and try to get everything was fantastic. So good, so recognizable, and just one of the greatest worlds to go through in any video game world. Super Mario World, number 2. And here's the time we like to put aside for honorable mentions, games that were really fantastic but not quite good enough to make the list. And at number 1, it is The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. And I don't think anybody's surprised on this one. It's on every single person's Super Nintendo number 1. It's the best game out. Another game where they didn't make any compromises and didn't launch the game until it was perfect. And it shows the open world map that was a classic staple for the Zelda games was brought here even richer and deeper than we ever expected. There was other versions that were brought out of this, and you can see why they picked this one and not other ones. This was probably one of the best overhead Zelda games, and once they moved into different patterns, you could see why this was the last of them and the best. It was so cool and easily the number 1 game for the Super Nintendo just because of everything, the way they put it together. Well done. Number 1, The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. Well, there you go, the top 10 Super Nintendo games of all time. Please like, share, and comment. Subscribe. Tell us how we did. Tell us if you hated or if you loved it. And look out for more. We got a lot more coming. We're just, we're really excited about this, and we're going to keep them going. There's a ton as we work our way up the console ladder. So we'll see you soon, and take care. Bye-bye.